Okay, so in this session, we are going to learn about applications in Salesforce. Let me share my screen. Okay, so applications in Salesforce, or we can also say app in Salesforce. So what is app? So right now, what you are seeing on the screen is we have opened a sales app. If you see here on the left top, we can see the application name here. Okay, it says it's sales. Okay, so that means we have already opened a sales application. So what is application? So app in Salesforce is like a container for all the objects, okay, tabs and other functionalities. So like it is a group of tab, okay, that provides us the uh, application functionality. So it simply consists of logo here on the left top corner. We have logo, we have name, then we have orders, set of tabs here. If you see on this particular bar, we have multiple object tabs, right? So this app also contains home page. In home tab, we have like this particular page, standard page. So basically in application we can have the name of the application, logo for that particular application, and a set of tabs, object tabs we can add or remove from that application. Okay, so now apps also two types in Salesforce, standard and custom, right? So standard app means which comes with every instance of Salesforce by default. Okay, for example, this sales. So we have sales, we have service. Okay, so these are all standard applications in Salesforce. It also includes app launcher. So if you see on this left hand side, okay, we have 9 dots, right? So these 9 dots called app launcher. If you click on this particular 9 dots, okay, and click on view all, you will see all these are applications in Salesforce, okay, and all these are standard application provided by Salesforce only. And then it also has uh, the name, logo, and these orders sets of tabs. But here in standard application, we cannot change the logo. This particular logo, we don't have any ability to change it. Okay. However, if you want to remove or add tabs here, you can do that. Let's say, for example, in sales tab, I only want opportunities, leads, accounts, and contacts. I don't want these other tabs, so I can remove it as a system admin. Or let's say if there is any custom object or any other object in the system, and sales team needs access to it and they should be able to view that particular tab here, so I can add those tab also in the application. So using app we can actually access objects. Okay, now second one, which is custom apps. So that means we can create new custom apps to meet the specific business requirement of organization. Okay, so custom app also consists the exact same functionalities. Custom app have name, these tabs, app launcher, and logo. You can add logo if you want. If no, then we have an ability that if we don't want any logo, then there is no need to upload it. Let's say that if the logo is already uploaded, okay, and you want to change it, so that we can do in custom application. But these scenarios comes very rarely in an organization. So for our demo, we are going to create recruitment application for our hiring team. So our app name will be recruiting app. Okay, and this app will consist of some custom objects. Okay, for example, position, candidate, and other custom objects which we are going to create it in the future. But this particular org is newly created. Okay, so we don't have actually I don't have created a position and candidate object. So just for this demo purpose, I will show it to you guys how we can add it. So yeah, let's begin the demo. So in order to create application, go to the setup here, and then click on setup. Okay, now in the quick find box, search for app manager. Okay, from app manager you can create your custom app, as well as you can check the standard apps there. So if you see here, all these are the apps provided by Salesforce, and list of all the apps, and here we can add new one. Okay, now one thing which you may have noticed is app type. Here it says classic, it says lightning. So earlier we had we actually have two types of UI in the Salesforce, classic and lightning. So earlier we used to have classic UI. Okay, every organization used classic UI, but then later in 2016, Salesforce introduces this lightning UI. Okay, and now in future, Salesforce is going to deprecate the classic UI. Okay, so now everyone has moved from classic to lightning one. So there are some applications, okay, which are provided by Salesforce. Those are only compatible with classic UI. Okay, but as I said earlier, we Salesforce is going to deprecate that particular feature, so only one UI will be there. And now every company has moved from classic to lightning UI. Okay, so when we are going to create an application, that application will be for lightning. Okay, but in case if you created a application somehow in classic UI, and if it is not compatible with lightning, so we have an option, so we can upgrade it to lightning. For example, this particular let's say it's the classic. Okay, it's only support to classic UI, so we have to go here. Okay, now as this is standard, we don't see many options, we only see edit options. But for our custom one, we'll have one option which says upgrade to lightning. Okay, once we click on that, it will get upgraded to lightning, and then we will see app type as lightning. Okay, and you can access that application in lightning. Okay, so let's create our new application. So I'm going to click on this new lightning app button here on the right corner. So first thing for your app is application name. So this will be the application name. You can give description. If you want to add any logo, you can add it from here or upload it from here. I don't have any logo as of now, so I'm not going to upload it. Now, in the next page, we have some basic options of Lightning app. Okay, so first thing is navigation style. Okay, we have two options. First is say standard navigation, and second is console navigation. So standard navigation used widely, okay, in all the businesses except uh, in service business. Okay, so in service business they uses console navigation. So I'll just quickly show you how standard navigation looks and console navigation looks before we proceed to the next page. Okay, so I'm going to open this. So this particular page you see here, okay, this is standard navigation. In standard navigation we have tabs here. Just give me a moment.
I think Amrapali, you muted yourself. We cannot hear you anymore.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So as I was saying, in standard navigation, we have tabs added here like this. Okay. And if I switch to console navigation, so here look is slightly different. Okay. So if you see here, we have the application name, we have logo, we have app launcher here, but uh, instead of tabs like this, we have a list over here. Okay, now this particular console navigation is provided by Salesforce. So exactly same we have for service as well. So if I open here, service console, there also you will see exact same navigation. Okay, so we have tabs like this. So the only benefit of using this console navigation, let's say I am a part of support team, okay, Salesforce support team, and I work on cases on daily basis. So what happens is, let's say, Salesforce customers, vendors, clients, okay, they all uses Salesforce, and if let's say they have any issues in their Salesforce, they create a ticket with Salesforce, right? That ticket goes to the support agent, and that support agent basically work on that ticket, right? So here. Okay, now let's say that these three cases are open, okay, in my queue. So I can open these tickets, all three tickets here, one by one, like this. Okay, so all three tickets I can open here. But if you see in standard navigation, let's say if I'm on the account, I can open one account at a time. Okay, I cannot open multiple accounts exactly like this. So as I mentioned earlier, only service-based companies used this console navigation that too for support purpose. Okay, because what I have seen is in the industry, only support industry uses this console navigation, and the other industries uses the standard navigation. Now let's say that I'm working on a case, okay, let's say this one, okay, and there might be hundreds of cases with the similar subject or similar description or with the similar issue. Now I am new to the company, right? I don't have any idea what this issue is. So how I can find that particular issue? I can directly type in here, I can search for that, or I can check multiple cases over here. I can search in that list. Let's say in all closed cases, I can search in the list, right? And I can open multiple cases. I can go through the details, description, what that issue is, what previous agent has worked on, right? What is the resolution, and the same I can do this. So the only difference between standard and console navigation is, look, here we have different type and here we have different. Okay. So for our recruiting app, we are going to select the first one, which is standard navigation. Then,
One, sorry, one question, Amrapal, before we move forward. So let's say standard navigation versus the console navigation for any of these, let's say for service, do the cases or the leads remain same or they are different over there?
meaning not
Uh,
able to
so
understand.
let's say this is a case number over here, okay? Will
Mm.
this same case be in the standard navigation also, or it won't be
Yes,
there?
yes,
Okay,
because that
okay.
is data, right?
Yeah,
Only
yeah.
the is different. Data is the same.
Okay, get that. Thank you.
Okay. Now, support form factor. One more request actually, if you have any questions, you can wait till the end of the session or you can paste it in the chat section. Once we end this session, you can ask your questions one by one. Okay. Now, let's move forward. Supported form factor. So here we can select desktop and phone, only desktop or only phone. Now I will select here desktop and phone because it will be applicable to desktop as well as if the users are using mobile application. Okay, in that mobile app as well, it will be supported. If we select here only desktop, then we cannot view that particular application in phone. So this one. Now these are the settings. I'm not going to touch it. Okay, and uh, from this settings, we have, if you see here in standard navigation, we have this particular edit pencil, right? So user has ability to add any tab, object tabs they want. Okay, so as a system administrator, I can define whether user should have access to this edit pencil or not. If they don't, if they shouldn't have access, right? And if the system admin is the only person who should do all these changes, then I can remove this. So for removing this, I have this option, disable end user personalization of navigation item in this app. Okay, so I can disable this for users. User won't be able to see this pencil icon. And if there is any requirement to add, remove any particular tab, then that will comes to the Salesforce admin. Okay, now let's move to next page. So here we can add utility items. Okay, if you see here on this particular page, right? On this particular page, we have this bar, okay, at the bottom of the page, and there we can add utility items like call or reminder or notes, let's say, or any other thing. Okay, like this. So on this particular application, we have to-do list. Okay, when I click on it, I get to create a new task here. So exactly like this, if there is any requirement for that, you will get those requirement from your client. If they says that I want new task button here, or call button here, or any other button, or notes button, that you can add. You'll need to click on this add utility items. Okay, here we have different types of option. Okay, you'll have to search, for example, let's say notes. I can add notes. Okay, and if you want to add, let's say, phone, so we have that option as well, CTS or phone. I think I'm not 100% sure, but I think it requires some integration with phone applications like Ring Central or any other application. Okay, so this will be, I guess, work if you have those applications, and all this you will get it from your client. Okay, so if you want to add it, you can add it here like this. So phone will appear, notes will appear. Okay, right now let's remove this. Okay, now let's move to the next page. Here, this is the important part of the application. This page is for navigation item. So here what we does is we add object tabs here in the navigation item so that those objects will appear in that application. Okay, like this. So if I go here, that those tabs will going to appear. So as of now, I will add only one object tab, which is account. Okay, so I just have, what I have to do is, from this particular available list, click on that tab, whatever tab you want to add. Okay, and then click on this add button. Once I do this, that tab will going to get added in the application. Okay, like this you can search for position tab, candidate tab, and you can add it over here. Now next, and the last page is for to give access to the users. So even if you created this application, okay, and if you don't give access to yourself as well, you won't be able to see that application here in app launcher. Okay, even if the app is there, you can see in the backend that app is there, the settings are correct, but still you will not be able to see that application here because you have not given access to yourself. So how we can give access? Okay, so we have different kinds of profiles. Our profile is system administrator, this profile. So I will give access. So the exact same steps I have to follow. Click on that, select it, and click on this tab, add button. Okay, similarly, if you want to give access to any other profile, you can search for it. For example, standard one. Now this is also a profile, okay, provided by Salesforce only. So I can select here. Standard users have standard user profile, have non-admin users like sales team, hiring team, or any other non-admin team. Okay, only the system administrator. Let's say one. If your company have only one system admin or two or five, okay, whatever it is, only those user will have system administrator profile, because this particular profile gives access to each and everything in the Salesforce org. And we do want that every user should have those high level accesses, right? So we can give them like minimum access. So like standard user, they only have certain access, for example. So I can select it, okay, and I can add that profile here. So once you add it, that means those profile will have access to the application, and now the users who belongs to that profile will be able to view that application over here. So here we added our app details. Here we added app options, utility items, then navigation item, and user profile. Now I'm going to save and finish. Okay, now our application is created, this one, recruiting app. Okay, so if you see every other app name, developer name is like this, but only recruiting app has this underscore. Okay, so it is the custom app and the app type is lightning. Now let's go here and refresh the page. Okay, great. Now I'll go to the app launcher, view all, and if I scroll down, you can see the newly created recruiting app. Okay, and click on it. And in this particular application, I only have one object tab because I added only one object tab here, which is account. So what I will do, I will quickly create one position object and then we can add it in the navigation item. So let's say that later on if you create any particular object, so let's see how we can add it. Object manager, create, okay, position, positions, it will be exactly same, position name and data type will be text, deployed, and I will create a tab as well. So I'm clicking on save. Okay, and for position tab, let's select the tab style and next. It will be by default on this particular tab. Next. I'm not going to add this particular tab in any other application. We will only add it to the recruiting app. Now I can add it from the recruiting app at the time of object creation. But let's say if I forget to add this, then how I can add it. Okay, so we can see that. So I'm going to save this. So I have not added this particular tab in any other application or even recruiting application. So if I refresh this, it will not going to show any position tab. So now we will going to add that tab tab in the recruiting application through our app manager. So I will go to the app manager, search for recruiting app, click on edit. Now I will go to the navigation item because that's where we can add, remove tabs, okay, for our application. So I will search here as position, add it and save. Okay, now let's go here and refresh the page. And now the position tab is showing up in the recruiting app. Okay, so I don't have any records for position because this is the newly created object. So from here I can create it using new button. Any questions still here? Okay, so I will consider this as no. We will provide you guys the assignment on the WhatsApp group. Okay, download the assignment for app creation and try to create the application in your demo org. Okay, and we can have questions later on in next session if you have any questions. Okay, now let's move on to the next topic, which is page layout. Page layout in Salesforce. So what is page layout? So page layout in Salesforce allows us to customize the edit pages of the records in Salesforce. For example, this is our account record, and we have all the fields like this. Okay, now if there is any requirement to edit this particular page or change the look of that particular page or field position from, let's say, from here to here or any other small changes. Okay, so how we can do that changes? So we have an option used called page layout. So page layout, using this page layout we can edit this, okay, and we can add or remove fields from there, okay, and we can customize it. So page layout can be used to control the appearance of fields. If you see here on the screen, we have multiple fields. Then we can also control related list. Okay, what type of related list we should add or remove here. We have some custom and standard links, as well as some buttons as well, custom and standard buttons. So if you see on this right corner, okay, we have some buttons. All these buttons are from Salesforce and all these buttons are standard buttons. But let's say if your developer has created any custom button, okay, then as an admin it will be your job to add those particular buttons in the page layout so that user will have a visibility to those buttons. Exactly similar, if you want to change, so all this will be the system administrator's job to change the related list, add or remove related list, add or remove any fields, okay, buttons, all this information we can change as an admin. Okay, so we can also set the field visibility, whether it is read only or required on the page. That also we can set from the page layout. So for example, let's say this rating field, as of now if I click on this particular, okay, it doesn't have the functionality of a required field. Okay, but let's say that you get that requirement from your client and they want certain fields to be read only. Okay, so you need to understand how they want that particular field as read only, because we have different types of options to make a field required in the system. Okay, so let's say that and if you understand the requirement and now your conclusion is to make that particular field required using page layout. Okay, so that will be your call how you want to make any field required in the Salesforce. So before doing that you will need to get that proper requirement from your client or customer. So as I was saying, we have the ability to make any field read only or required from page layouts. We can also control which standard and custom buttons appear here, right, on the records as well as on the related list. Okay, if there is any Visual Force pages created by developer, okay, that also we can add it. But now as we are using this lightning, we don't get that requirement to add visual force page in the page layout. Okay, so we'll quickly see how we can add or we can edit any page layout for any particular object. So if I go to the position object, I don't have any fields. So what I will do, I will quickly create 2 to 3 fields just for our demo purpose. Fields. Remember, I'm not making any field required from the field itself. Save and new. I'll just quickly create 2 to 3 fields so that we will have enough fields. So the next field will be date type and the name will be open date. Save and new. Then we will have close date. It will also be the date type. And the last field I will create, which is job description. So it will be like text area. Now it will have uh, multiple lines. Okay, so I think I have created enough fields for our demo. So now we can add, see the page layout. Okay, so now let's say that let's create a new record, position name as admin. As you can see, I only have one field added as position name, owner created by, and last modified field. These 3 fields are created. All these are created by Salesforce only when we created the custom object, and only those fields are added into the page layout. Now later on, I have created, let's say, 2 to 3 new fields, and I want to amend this particular page layout. Okay, so how I can do that? So for that, I'll go to the setup, object manager, search for that particular object. So here, which object we are working on? Position object. Okay, so for each and every object, we will have a different type of page layout, different page layouts. Okay, so let's say if you want to do any changes for accounts, you'll have to go to the account page layout. If you want to do changes for contact object page, then you'll have to go to the contact page layout. But right now we are working on position, and I want to change the layout for position object. So here in the object manager, I will search for position, and then in the position we have this option called page layout. So click on this page layout, and one page layout is there. Okay, so this particular page layout gets created when you create the um, object. Okay, now the fields which I have created, 2 to 3 fields like open date and status and close date and job description, these 4 fields I need to add it into the page layout. So I'll go to the page layout here on the left uh, section, then click on this page layout. Okay, you'll have to click on that particular page layout in order to open that edit page layout option. Now, here you can see at the top we have this particular box where we have fields. Okay, using from this particular box we can add fields to our page layout. Now if you see here, position name, last modified by owner and created by, these four fields are grayed out. Okay, these four fields are grayed out. Why? Because this four fields are already added here in the position page layout. Okay, but job description, open date, status, close date, these fields we need to add it into the page layout, so it's not grayed out. Okay, then here on this particular box we have different functionalities like buttons, actions, related list, if you want to add chart. Okay, so all this information is there. If I click on related list will going to appear. If I click on buttons, buttons will going to appear. Okay, so these are all the standard button. Okay, but if your developer has created any custom button for any particular object, those buttons will also show up over here. Now let's move. So if I scroll down a little bit, you see I have here the first option as Salesforce action. Okay, in classic, and then Salesforce and Lightning mobile actions. Okay, so this contains like email, task, log calls. Okay, those are the standard actions provided by Salesforce, and those are already added into the page layout, so you don't have to add it. But if you want to see which action is added, you can simply click on uh, this particular wrench icon. Okay, when you click on it, okay, it will going to show. Now the main thing of our page layout is the details section. Okay, here we have details. So in this particular detail section, whatever fields we will add it over here, those fields will going to appear in this particular detail section. Okay, whatever actions is added over here, those actions appears in the activity. Whatever buttons is added, so if you see here, before position detail we have some options for standard and custom buttons. So all standard buttons are already added into the page layer, and there is a section to add custom buttons as well. Okay, so if your developer has created any custom button, okay, as an admin you can directly add that custom button in this particular section. Those buttons will appear over here. Then fields, whatever fields you add over here, those are going to appear in the details section. And if I scroll down a little bit, I will have option for related list. So I can add, remove related list from this particular page layout, and those related list will going to show up over here. Okay, so in this particular combination of page, we can do changes all this in one section. Okay, we can add fields, we can add related list, we can add buttons, we can add action. So now let's see how you can add fields in the detail section. Now I want to add let's say status field here at the at, like here in the below of this particular position name. So in order to add, okay, what you'll have to do is go to that particular field, hover over on that field, then click on it without removing, drag it, okay, and drop it wherever you want in that page layout. If you want to remove it, you can do the exact same. Click on it, drag it, and drop it in this particular box. And the second step is removing like this. Okay, we have a remove button, but to add it we have that only option. You'll have to hover over, click on it without removing. Okay, you'll have to drag it and drop it in the section. Now similarly we will do like close date, open date, okay, open date, close date, and then we will add job description like this. Okay, now I have added this field. uh, if I go to the related list, I can have related list as well. uh, as of now, I'm not going to make any changes, but remember, if you want to remove it, you have the option here to remove it. And if you want to add it, you will have to do the exact same step what we did in the adding the fields. Overall, click on it, drag and drop it into the section. Okay. Now, if there is any button, okay, you can add that particular button. So as of now, these are standard buttons. So even if I will try to add it, system will not let me to add it over here because it's a standard one, and these are the columns to add standard buttons and custom buttons. So only custom buttons can be added over here. Okay, so now let's say that our page is ready. Now we have did the required changes. Okay, now what I will do, I will save this particular page layout. Remember, when you get the requirement, mostly it will be like this, that you have you have to create some custom fields for any particular object, and then you have to add those fields in the page layout. Very rarely you will get the requirement to amend the whole page layout, okay, for any particular object. Okay, now we did the changes. Now let's go here and refresh the page. And you see, now we can see that the four fields which we have added into the page layout: status, open date, close date, and job description. You can select status, new position, let's say 18, let's say October 18, job description, something, and save. So like this, you can do like changes in the page layout, I mean the page layout. Any questions here? So I believe you have created position and candidate object, okay, in your demo org. And when you add, sorry, not add, when you create custom fields for those object, okay, by default those fields will get added to the page layout, okay, but the only difference is all those fields will be added like one by one, like status here, job description, then open date, close date, okay, and this section will be blank. Okay, so what you can do is, for your practice, change the page layout, okay, and try to amend this for position and candidate. Now one more thing I forgot to tell you guys in the page layout is we can add different types of sections as well. So here, let's go. For example, I want to create two new sections now. Okay, so what I can do is, I have section button here, so I'm just going to drag it and drop it over here. Give the section name as date, for example. Okay, now here in the display section header, it will be shown in the detail page as well as in the edit page, meaning that in detail page like this, and edit page is if you are editing this particular position record, okay, that time it will also gonna show up. Now it's completely depend on the requirement whether you want it for the edit page or not, and for detail page or not. But for as of now, I will keep as it is. And then the layout, whether you want one column or two column. So as of now, I will take two column because I want to add two fields over here. So this is the section which I have created, date. So I will add open date here and then close date here. And then I will add another section and add it below, and will give name as description. Okay, and this will be one column only. So I will add only one field to that particular section. Now I will click on OK, and I will add job description. Okay, now I have did these changes. I have added two sections and I have added fields over there as well. Now quickly save this and see how we can see those changes here. Refresh it. And if you see, now we can see these two sections, date section, and in date section we can see open date, close date. In description we can see job description. So like this you can do the changes in the page layout. Now the detail information is not showing. Do you know why? I will go to the position layout. The first section, which is by default created by Salesforce, which is information, that is not showing. Why? Because it is visible only in edit mode, it says. Okay, so if you want to change it, okay, you can click on this French icon for that particular section and then click on this detail information, detail page, and okay. So now it will also show on the detail page. It takes time to do the updates sometimes. But what I will do, I will quickly switch to classic UI just to show you guys. Because in the classic, it reflects instantly. As you can see, this is the old UI which we no longer use. And you see here the information, that section is also showing. Let's switch to Lightning UI. Okay, and now it is showing information section, date section, description section. If you want, you can also. So sometimes what happens, let's say we have a long page layout where we have multiple sections, right? So it's very easy to access fields because of section. Okay, now any questions, guys? Okay, I will consider this as no. Okay, so we will provide you guys with the assignment. Okay, and when you go through the assignment, at the bottom of that assignment, I also have added the trailhead link. Okay, so when you complete your assignment, okay, then also go through the trailhead link and try to complete those challenges. Okay, so it will be for your practice only. Let me stop the screen sharing. Okay.